here we are. What is going on, everybody? Thanks for stopping in on your Saturday afternoon. I am joined with the other half of Faithfully Bearded, David here, and we are joined by a content creator, a company owner, and a first-time YouTube live streamer, which is crazy to think about. But this is John, the Beard Baron. So how are you doing today, John?
Well, I'm doing great. I'm excited to be on here. Like you said, first time on live on YouTube. I really enjoy the whole live. I go Instagram live quite a bit, and I like the format. It's really just up to speed and just real raw. So I'm looking forward to getting on here and answering some questions and seeing who's out there who's going to be watching. And it's going to be good.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's awesome. I know David's got some questions lined up for you. I'm dealing with a migraine, so I'm going to kind of be watching the chat if anybody's got any questions, and I'll pop in with those. David's got some questions about content creation, so hey to everybody joining us in the chat. If you guys have any questions, feel free to pop them in the chat, and I'll get to them the best that I can. In the meantime, David will be asking John some questions about content creation, and we'll probably get into beard company stuff too.
Sure.
All right, guys. So first off, I know a lot of you guys that have been in the community for a while know who John is, but for you guys that don't, I remember watching John for grooming tips videos, especially mustache stuff. If you go back and watch his videos, this guy's got the most amazing mustache in the beard game, so it was a good place to learn it. John's been around since 2014 on YouTube, which takes us all the way pretty much to the inception of the beard content creation. And in case you didn't know this is the first episode of the next branch of the Titan series. So we figured why not kick it off with somebody that's been in it for a while. So I'll let John introduce himself. And John, I really think we should start in the beginning, like what the beard community was like when you started.
Well, when I started in the beard community, 2013 was the real beginning, I feel, of beards hitting more of a mainstream kind of a place in society. More men were growing more beards as the rules were getting a little bit more lax, so people felt more free to grow beards. And right before I started the channel, I was working on another channel for actual bonsai trees. I was kind of into bonsai trees, and I would show them off my little channel going. And what happened was a lot of guys were asking me about my beard, and they were sending messages, and they wanted to know how to do certain things. And so all of a sudden, I had to kind of put two and two together. Like, wow, I really enjoy growing my beard, maintaining my beard, and I realized that the community was largely uneducated at that time as far as products, trimming, how-tos. Just generally even grooming situations of when to do things, goal setting. So I said, hey, there's a demand out here. People want to know this information. So I started the Beard Baron channel in February of 2014. And it was a really just an educational based situation of how to trim with scissors, or how to fade your sideburns into your beard, and just a lot of questions I would receive on each video that would lead to the next video and to the next video, and it just kind of created this library of real foundational beard tips.
Yeah, and somebody already said it in the game. I should have mentioned it. John loves hats. In fact, if you go watch Matt from No BS's most recent Beard Baron video, I believe he has a hat much to the same fashion as yours in that one. So I almost think in the beginning it had to be like you and then Scuba maybe.
Yeah, it's very, very slim community out there, and it was just to the point that you didn't even know how many people were even really into it until the followers started happening, the subscribers started happening, and it kind of just ballooned. I would say by the spring, early summer of 2014, I think the beard community was really starting to come alive. And everyone was inspiring everyone at that point. It was really cool to see.
Yeah, I think even looking back at some of your videos, I hate to imagine what it would have been like, because I've always had a very close cropped beard, never anything long like I have now. But I couldn't imagine not being able to go on YouTube and find a video, like a how-to video. So right. I can see the necessity and understand it. So now you're a content creator. You're pumping out videos. Videos are leading into other videos. So when the channel started to take off, I noticed, like looking back at the videos, you always kept the same pace, which was pretty high speed, always helping. So what was your favorite video to bring out?
I always enjoyed doing anything where I was actually trimming in the video. I always tried my best to do videos in one take with very limited editing involved. I felt the more I could connect with the viewer throughout the video, the better. I wanted to become more of a personal experience with the viewer, so there was that sense of, you know, camaraderie almost, and to be able to portray that via internet as best I could. So anytime I was like trimming, you know, filming a trim, I always really enjoyed that because it kind of put a little bit of pressure on me. It was a little bit almost like a performance piece of like art in a sense of, you know, it's a little high stakes, try to keep the nerves down. And if something ever went wrong, I'd probably make an even better video, but luckily that never really happened.
When I first started, I was shooting on my phone. I say when I first started, like it was a long time ago. I'm not even a year in yet. But shooting on my phone, I tried to do everything in one take. And I quickly realized like that's just not something I'm capable of. So kudos for that. I'd mess up one word and
Well, I loosened up over the years, that's for sure.
Did you start like shooting on your phone, or how did you decide to start? Like, what were you using when you first started to make videos on YouTube?
I was shooting video on a Nikon D750 DSLR. I love that camera. It's funny that I wore that camera out. It doesn't work anymore, and I have it displayed in my house because it was just such a workhorse, and there's so many great memories with it. And I recently now switched over to a Nikon Z6 setup, great autofocus, in-body stabilization, all the great stuff. So I've always shot on a DSLR, never on a phone.
yeah, the Z Space 6 gets a lot of good reviews. I've heard really good things about the Z7 also.
Right.
I've never shot on a Nikon. As of today, switched from Canon to Sony.
Oh, really? That's a good platform, though.
Yeah, I really like this picture. So what about, this is kind of off topic, but that kind of camera, and I'm a tech nerd, so I can't help but dive in. That kind of camera, was it solely for YouTube or still photography or anything?
Oh, yeah. Well, my background is I'm an artist. I've been an oil painter for 15 years. I went to school for design, graphic design, graduated with a degree and all that. So all my background is all art related, which has kind of carried over into the Beard Baron business of designing products, labels, all that stuff. So I had those cameras from photographing artwork and stuff like that, and just kind of used the video functions to make videos.
That's awesome.
We got a question real quick here. I got a couple before you move on to the next one. What's your favorite platform currently to use? Is it YouTube, Instagram, Facebook?
I like Instagram the most. I'm not quite sure if my demographic is fully on there as much as Facebook, but for me, the usability of Instagram just works better for my kind of flow of. I like to be a little spontaneous sometimes. I'll go live just on a whim on Instagram because it's just easier to do. So I think for right now, I've been really enjoying Instagram.
And then a second one real quick. Is there something about your beard, either now or in the past, that kind of you didn't really like about it, but you learned to live with it? I think somebody's kind of asking, have you always loved everything about your beard, or has there been something that just like, nah, this drives me nuts, but I've just learned how to manage it?
Yeah, there's certain things. There's certain spots on my neck where it grows out like a curl in a strange way that grows out to the sides. That usually frustrates me, is when certain areas of my beard along my jawline or my neck want to go in a direction, and I have to trim to correct it in a sense so it looks like it's more straight. I'm more of a trimmer for getting that kind of look. So, and my mustache, I wish my mustache was completely symmetrical on each side. One side grows stronger than the other, which is kind of a bummer, but it's hard to see. It's one of those things, like if you're not looking for it, you'll never see it, but it's your beard and you'd notice everything about it. So
yeah,
absolutely. So
that's what I have so far, David.
So we've talked about the beginning. We've talked about your background a little bit. I'm kind of interested about what the Beard Baron as the YouTube channel, or even IG, because I agree it's a great platform. what do we have to look forward to? Are we looking at some? I know No Shave November and Movember are coming up. Are we looking at some videos for that? Maybe some new footage?
We're hoping to. I mean, like I said, we just got through a move. We've been in the house now for about 3 weeks now, and it's been a long, long process. We're out of the house for over a month. We just got a couch the other day, so everything is just way, way up in the air. I'm trying my best to try and get some content ready because I got ahead of the game, and then the game got a little too long here. So we're gonna see what we can put together for you guys.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited. And so let's switch gears a little bit into the Beard Baron as a brand. Tyson and I have recently made that switch into building Faithfully Bearded into a brand. So this is definitely one part of the interview or a chat that I've been looking forward to. So how did that come about, and what did that look like going from just content creation into the Beard Baron brand? Because it's a brand. I mean, the Beard
Right.
Baron is
Absolutely. So what happened was years ago, I think it was in 2013. Yeah, it was 2013. I'd received a gift of beard oil, and it was the first time I'd ever experienced product in my beard, and I had an allergic reaction to it immediately. And but I loved how my beard felt, smelled, everything, and I was like, I can make something like this, and I was excited to. I've always been into colognes and scents for many, many years. I'm a real cologne horse. So I got excited about the fact I could make it my own product and actually create my own scent that people would enjoy and that I would enjoy. And that's how that really started off, was like getting that whole education and the product side by side and coming together to start the actual brand.
So here's another guy like myself in the chat that says, "Oh wow, the Beard Baron, this is really cool. He's the first guy on YouTube that I knew about." So it's a common thread that we all have.
And the Boston boys are coming out there. There's wind that you're from Boston, so we got Boston stuff going on in the comments, chanting up to Boston. So are you a Patriots fan then?
Oh, absolutely. But
There you go, Matt.
I do
There
root
you
for the
go.
Buccaneers, though. I'm still a Tom Brady fan, so.
Oh, they just got AB, so
know, that's
they're gonna be
wild
tough,
stuff.
man.
So Matt the Sports Beard, who I would be doing him an injustice if I didn't mention that he is a huge Pats fan. He's asking about your daily beard routine. Like, what does that look like? And also whether you use heat or not.
Never use heat. I never apply heat. My beard routine always circles around my shower. My daily shower is what triggers the routine. Unless of course, if I need to do any kind of trimming or lining up. But for the most part, it's a shower with beard wash fairly routinely. I need shower, get out. Always apply oil. I don't think I miss a day of oil in I don't know how long. And then whatever kind of product I need on top of that, if I need my mustache to be a little bit more in line, I'll do some wax. Or if I'll do balm and butter, if my beard's at a longer state. Sometimes I let my beard go an extra couple inches past my collarbone. So it's usually about where I'm at in the growth cycle is what dictates it.
So you're still a balm user.
Oh yeah.
Nice. I know that's been.
It depends on the time of year too.
Yeah, I'm a wintertime balm user. I use a lot more balm in the winter. I know it's been kind of a big, you know how it is in the community. There's always a wave coming through, and for a while the wave has been, does balm still have a place? So I'm glad we're not the only ones that seem to think that. So what about coming up as a business? Was it an easy transition for you? Was there stumbling blocks along the way?
No, I'd say it was pretty straightforward. I kept things pretty manageable from the get-go. There's only 3 scents, and there's 2 of them were actual scents, and the third one was an unscented product. And I just launched oils and mustache wax, and I think I had a wash at the time, so I kept it fairly manageable with what I could actually produce and make myself. I formulated everything myself, and basically cooked everything myself. So I could only take on as much as I could by myself, but it was a pretty steady transition of getting it off the ground.
So talking about scents, I know we talked a little bit backstage. I love Bellevue. I love Fireside. I have some samples that I've smelled a couple of them and I really like them. So being an artist like you are, what's the creation process look like of coming out? Well, you said you were kind of a heavy into cologne guy. So was that a lot of inspiration for everything, or?
Right. Usually it's like I'd love to try and kind of chase a feeling. I think if people can have an experience with a scent, that's to me is the best possible thing that could happen. If it reminds them of a memory or a place. I've had so many guys reach out, be like, "Oh, Wildwood reminds them of their grandfather's, wood shop." When it takes people places, or I travel a lot and I enjoy traveling, and a lot of times I'm inspired by my travels of trying to capture, a kind of vibe or scent that I can share, and people then integrate that into their daily routine. And I think that's, to me, the most rewarding process, is that creation process actually transitioning to someone else's life and their lifestyle.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of your pictures of you traveling different places via IG. That's one thing I haven't quite done yet, is traveled. So somebody asked in the chat, do you only strictly use your products, or do you use other companies? Do you have a company that you like?
Strictly the Beard Baron. Only the best.
Yeah, another thing, speaking of the blush, I think it was a really cool, like Bellevue's in all white. I think that was really cool. It just sets itself apart, when I'm looking at my shelf, I'm like, oh, Beard Baron. Yeah,
Yep.
it definitely looks good.
Yeah.
Somebody said we'd love to see a deodorant added to the lineup. That's a lot of work, I think.
That is a lot. Yes, and that's because we've had that talk many times, or probably in the past 2 years, I'd say. That's been on a short list, but it is a lot of work, and that's what usually dictates things now. When you do get a bigger kind of company going, where you do have multiple product lines with multiple scents, adding a new product category is quite an undertaking.
So are you online only, or are you in stores, or
Online only? Yeah.
and
Easier to
So
manage.
when in your time did you integrate like body lotion, shampoo, cologne? And like one thing I've noticed, at least since I've been around, is like nothing, like your look hasn't changed. I know you're an artist, but that's something that I respect, is like you've stuck by your brand
Right.
for, I would assume, since day one, but if not, pretty close. But when in that process did you start expanding like out of beard oil and getting into body lotion, hair oil, shampoo, conditioner type of stuff?
Well, it's usually a lot of demand. I field a lot of DMs, emails daily of people asking for certain products. It gets to a point after time where it starts to make sense, and there's enough people who really want it. And the shampoo and lotions, that was our woman's line that we came up with. At the time, my fiance got involved with the Beard Baron, who's now my wife. And she brought a lot to the table with that whole idea of hair oils for women, because there was this new kind of movement, with women using oil in their hair. But that was kind of a non-traditional way just even a few years ago.
Nice. Tyson, it's your turn for questions.
Well, I'm just kind of looking at the website, but so what determines the private stock? How does that work? So we got premium beard oil, and then we have a private stock section. How do you define the differences in those, and how does that all work for people?
So private stock for me was a way to create new scents that were going to be available on a limited basis. It'd be a limited run, usually last maybe 3 to 4 months tops. And they'd come and go on the website from year to year. Some come back, some never come back. It just gives me a way to be a little bit more creative, a little bit more free with making new scents. Whereas there's a regular line on the beardbaron.com that's there all the time, like Fireside Imperial, all those guys. They're there year round. Some of them have been on there for going on 6 years now. So it's just a private stock is a limited edition, basically, of a run.
Oh, nice.
I've noticed it's also seasonal, right? Like you have
Right.
seasonal stuff. So summer, was that like the tropical one? I forget what it was called. I have it upstairs.
Right. That was Maui Gold and Lani Kai.
Yeah, those very, very nice. Those are two that I think Matt had in his review that just blew his mind, which is cool. I'm a big fall winter scent type of guy. But I mean, I think Fireside Fireside is definitely. I'm definitely going to be rocking that a lot this summer or this winter. I mean, it's a good one.
So what came first, the beard company or the YouTube channel?
The YouTube channel.
So you started kind of creating content about bearding, and then through that decided to create your company.
Right. So the idea was right around the beginning of 2014, that January, and I started the channel beginning of February, and then by April of that year, I launched the website.
Oh, so fast process, which
It was
is
very fast. Yeah.
it's just like I'm gonna do this and I go do it.
So I knew there was a lot there. There's a lot to gain with helping people out and making sure there's actual product. Because people were already at that point asking for product on the videos, and I was like, well, I don't have anything for you, kind of deal. So I was like, I better get working, because I could see it was just that demand was just going to keep on happening.
Yeah. And when did you figure out that art was like a passion of yours? Because you can see it in the labels, you can see it on your website in the pictures. So like I know you said you went to school and stuff, but how old were you? How did you discover it? Is it something you've always just had, or is there some kind of trigger moment?
It was definitely a trigger moment. It was, I was in one of my last semesters before transferring to my next school, and I had to take a general education requirement for artistic expression. So I took the drawing 101, and I was really good at it for some reason, and I had no idea what I wanted to do in school. So when I transferred, I said, hey, I might as well just transfer in art. I got nothing else that I'm really into. So it kind of just, one thing led to another wildly, and that's how I am here today.
I mean, that's awesome though. Like my daughter's sitting here thinking that she's an artist, and she tried to draw a picture today of a unicorn, and she's like, what do you think? And I'm like, oh, that's a cute bird. And she's like, no, it's a unicorn. I was like, oh, well, I guess we know somebody's not going to be going to school for art. And she's yelling yet, but when did you kind of, I noticed you have butter. Is that something that you've had for quite a while, or is that something where you kind of saw the demand, and the demand was there, so you decided I need to do this? Or how did the butter come about for you?
Yeah, butter came about a few years ago. We've had it for a while now, and it really became a thing because our balm is on the heavier side. It's a stronger hold. It's like a higher wax content. So I immediately knew that I wanted to at some point offer a more buttery control product, and I had that kind of the back pocket, and luckily people were into it too. So I totally get it. Everyone's got their own preference of what kind of weight they want in the beard and the application process. So it was been on for probably maybe 3-ish years now.
Nice. That's quite an age, I feel like, for butter. That's like one of the first companies to really have a butter at that point.
I'd have to double check.
Yeah. What's kind of your goal? And we're transitioning a lot into the company, but we're in the beard guys, so they're going to ask a lot of beard questions. What's kind of your goal with your company? Do you see yourselves ever getting into a big box store, or and we've had people tell us no, they don't ever want to be there. Like, what's your vision for the company?
Vision for the big brain time for the company here would be a legacy company that's passed down generationally. Would be amazing to have 2 generations deep, and seeing the Beard Baron go on, and have people have their sons wear our products would be, to me, would be the most respectful thing I could probably even think of. No big box stores. I like the kind of control that I have. Working small, we can work quick. I can come up with a product fast if I need to, nice and nimble. So it's a lot of control. It keeps it easy. I like easy. So that's where we're at.
Yeah, I agree with that. I feel like a good business to have would be one that you can control the quality of the product going out, not have to worry about legalities and stuff that the like big box stores type of thing require, and you just more of a personal touch, I feel, on it. So we got some more people saying Beard Baron's next on my list to grab, and somebody's got a son that's 10 and he can't wait to have a beard. So there we go.
Yes, that's where it's at.
Yeah, I mean, my daughter's 8 and she talks about beards all the time, and she'll put stuff on her face, be like, look, I'm like you, I have a beard, like, but that's the she hangs around with me too much. She's not a girly girl. Any tips for content creators?
Content creators, the more real you can be your true self and not try to imitate or be like someone else, the better it will come across. The more genuine you are, it just comes across really great on YouTube or any kind of platform, because people now at the point with the internet of watching people daily with different, accounts, that people pick up on who's really about what, and who's genuine, and that you really want that connection with the viewer. That's the ultimate thing you can shoot for when you're making content, is you want that connection. The only way to really do that is to be true to yourself, true to who you are, and you'll just attract those like-minded people, which is what I would say someone who's looking to make content.
Yeah, I think that's an important aspect of it. And I think it goes well with a lot of things that are going on now is a lot of like vlogging type stuff. Like people want to get to know the person and they want to see like what happens behind the scenes other than just what you're doing on a video with the information you're bringing. But I seem to experience vlogging type stuff helps a lot, but I think Instagram Live has also kind of taken away from that a little bit, because you can go live so easy on Instagram and just kind of chill with everybody right there.
It's a different vibe.
What's your favorite scent?
Favorite scent is Waikiki, and for the private stock, Maui Gold, undisputed. I'm a real tropical scent kind of guy. To me, there's so much nostalgia connected to it as well. It's funny when you start using these scents and wear them for years, they will bring me right back to places. And I think the transformative power of scent is one of our five senses. It's incredible when it really slaps and hits. So it's those are the two for me.
How do you handle the winters in Boston? Because I feel like we've talked a lot about you're a tropical type of guy. I feel like from what I've seen in your pictures and everything, you like warm weather. So how do you handle those winters?
I turn the heat up as high as it goes. But no,
that's my style right there. I was freezing in the house today, and I realized the thermostat said it was 63. I'm like, no, this is 15 degrees too cold.
That's right. I never see a 6 in front of the number, so I mean.
Yeah, for sure. That's definitely true. So you're taking all your pictures now. Is you're doing your content for your website completely and running all of that?
Mm-hmm. We do it all, and it has a very cohesive feel, cohesive look to it. Everything's very straightforward. There's obviously ways to always improve, so we're always looking to do that as well. Like you said, we've not really changed that much in 6 years. The look is consistent. I like consistency. Some people come, some people go, and it's an interesting community. It's a very straightforward community, which I really appreciate. It's a really welcoming community as well. So it's easy to make content for. I'd encourage anyone who's interested in making content for Beards, is that the community is fairly easygoing, which is always good to have.
When a lot of people say, well, there's so many reviewers and stuff already, but the thing is, like, with Beards, everybody has a different one, and they don't all get treated the exact same way. We use a lot of the same products, but they all get treated a little bit different. And so if you can bring your experience with your beard to light and help somebody out, that's kind of what really matters. Favorite place to go in Boston, whether it's a restaurant, a store, or anything like that. What's your favorite place in Boston?
Oh, favorite place probably on earth is Fenway Park. I mean, if anyone has a chance to go to Fenway Park and watch the Boston Red Sox play, the place is just, legacy in itself, and the historical aspect, and just the feel, the vibe. Get a couple of Fenway Franks, and you'll be doing all right. And if you're into sausages, pepper and onions on that, you're good.
That sounds amazing.
Oh, yeah. Ballpark food's where it's at.
Oh, ballpark food and like beer, bar food. I don't know. I love bar food. It's just. Do you have any affiliates, or would you ever do anything like that? That's a question from the comments.
Do not have any affiliates. Maybe. I think it would depend on the person and what they're about and where we line up. But it has been a consideration, but we haven't gone down that road yet.
And you're having a sale going on right now too. Fall 2020 is the discount code, I believe. Is that what I see?
We're having 15% off everything on the website. So you just get on thebeardbaron.com, hit that code and check out, and it's a great sale. You know, some people
Actually,
like
that ends today.
Yeah, tonight. So I mean, we'll do it. We'll let it go through a little bit past midnight here on the East Coast for our West Coast friends out there. Shout out to everyone on the West Coast. So midnight tonight, West Coast, Pacific Coast time, it'll be over.
So on the content creation side, so many times Tyson and I, you know, you hear people say it's not about the numbers, it's not about subscribers, which is partially true, but I think everybody wants to be successful in their craft. Especially, I feel like those of us that are content creators are a type of artist, not with me, it's not any skill other than running my mouth. But
it's a skill.
It's a skill.
It is a skill. Absolutely.
But getting to that, you're almost at 200K. So breaking that 100,000 mark, like how accomplished did that make you feel? Like I know you get the plaque at 100.
I never got the plaque. I'm so upset about the plaque.
You never got it?
No, never got it.
It's funny. I think George Bruno just got his.
Really?
Yeah, and you guys are probably pretty close sub-wise. But how was that moment? Like when did you tell yourself, like, I've made it? Like I am successful on YouTube as a content creator?
I don't know if I ever really reached that point because I didn't know what the expectation was. With the internet, you're always like, well, there's like a billion people on here. So I didn't know where to kind of draw those lines of, you know, where that mark would be and be like, oh, if I really did it. But 100,000, I think it was 50,000 was when I really kind of woke up to like, oh, wow, like this is a real thing now of being on here and making content. And it's funny as the numbers do go up, you start to get a little self-conscious because you start to realize like, oh, there's quite a few people who are going to watch this video after I'm done making it. And sometimes I'll put my head when I'm actually filming and recording or say something a little off or a little, you know, stumble on something like, oh, someone might call me out. But like I said, great community. People are very understanding. But I would say about 50,000 was it.
So what about I know the community's been brought up a lot, and our community, like when I think about it, maybe 30,000 people. You know, let's just shoot at that number. So how did you embrace the rest of the people that you brought in? Because it seems like you cross boundaries when it comes to one platform. Like you have brought people in from every platform, and that in itself is a skill. So how did you go about that?
How do I go about that? That's a good question. It's kind of tricky because there's a little bit of like an ebb and flow of platform to platform, trying out new things, seeing where the community was kind of going or favoring a platform. I always felt that Instagram and Facebook, the feedback was a little bit more immediate. The connections were a little bit deeper. YouTube seemed to me it's been a little bit more of a broader sense, but it's trying to find that good mix and then trying to take content and actually distribute it evenly across. And then you have to deal with subtitling, issues like that. You know, people on their mobile device might not be, listening to audio, so covering, burn-in subtitles, captioning, all that stuff has been a little tricky to manage over time.
Yeah, that is a pain for sure.
Yeah.
There's a lot more involved with YouTube than there is hitting a go live button on Instagram, and
Absolutely.
10 seconds later you got people watching and you're just live. Like, there's a lot with YouTube, but at the same time,
the expectation on Instagram Live is a lot more low key and relaxed. You could sit there for 2 minutes just staring at the screen and everyone would be fine with it. Whereas you make a YouTube video, people have an expectation of the content is going to be at a certain level. So it's a little bit of difference there as well.
So
sure.
I have to ask, because I think it's something we all deal with as content creators. So not to use Tyson as an example, but it's a great example. Tyson made a Dr. Squatch soap video, right? some of the comments in that video are less than friendly. Have you ever had to deal with that?
Oh, all the time. I'm very used to that. It's a nature of the beast. You can have people who either don't see eye to eye, they don't agree, or they're just flat out rude, or they're letting off steam from a 12-hour workday or something. I don't know what people are into or what causes the mayhem, but it's a little tricky of not taking things personally. You just almost come to expect it, and if I see a comment going kind of sideways, I won't even bother finishing it if it's already laden with a bunch of profanities, and just move on and try not to take it to heart.
So because sometimes once in a while I might run across a comment that I don't really like. So what works for you to stay positive? Because I know you have to be brand forward. Like the Beard Baron being a brand, you being the representative, the face of Beard Baron. Where do you go inside of you to keep that positivity? Because I know for me, it's not always easy. I'm a guy, I don't like to be constructively criticized sometimes by rude people. But
Right.
how do you maintain the positivity of it?
Well, that goes back to my art career of having to go through actual critiques of actually making something I really really believe in, and then put it in front of a group of people who will actually, slam it, and even have people who are in my class who are not really about me take that opportunity to put me on blast. So I've kind of gotten used to that idea of people are going to say what they want to say, and me being confident in who I am, what I'm about, what I'm doing, what I'm bringing to the table as far as content goes. And it's funny how someone could say something so nasty about me just using a pair of scissors while I'm trimming my beard. To me, it just doesn't make much sense. It's like you're gonna take a shot at me about something for something that has nothing to do with anything. So to me, it has very little value, and it doesn't hit any real soft spots to me.
Nice.
So as an artist, do you still spend time doing paintings and stuff like that?
Well, it's funny you ask about that, because since we've moved, I've now acquired a lot of studio space, which I'm going to begin creating again on that level. I'm hoping to share some of that with our followers here at the Beard Baron, to let them in on that, and so they'll see it's a whole collective unit here of creation, of designing, scenting, and even painting at this point. So I'm excited to get back into that and see where that even leads with the Beard Baron and how everything comes together.
So as an artist, a content creator, a company owner, husband, when do you find the time to let the creative juices just die down for a little bit and not be thinking business or art or creation? Or does it ever die down? Because I know I find myself in this beard community, it's hard for me to check out of what my next video is going to be about or how I want to do it or anything like that. But you've got a company to run, a YouTube channel, a wife, and art. How do you manage all that? Or is it just kind of the passion behind it?
By the seat of my pants and the grace of God, that's how it goes. I mean, seriously, it's been 15 years I've been an entrepreneur. Going back to my art, being an art, I sold a drawing to a friend. He asked if he could buy it out of the blue. And in that moment, I became an entrepreneur / artist. And then that kind of morphed over 15 years into the Beard Baron. And I answer emails on Thanksgiving Day, Christmas Day. It's always in the forefront of my mind when I get up in the morning and I go to bed. There's no days off really. It's a constant thing, and it takes a special breed of a person to take this kind of stuff on, because the burnout is real. I've gone through that maybe a few times in the past year. So it's been an interesting process, and you just try to deal with it as best as you can as it comes.
Now, do you have your product creation process down to a T to where you can whip up products super fast and be able to do it? Or do you kind of set a day aside a week to make products, or how do you handle your product creation?
No, it's pretty fluid at this point. Things are pretty formulated out. I know what I'm working with. The scent creation process is a fantastic time. That's done a few times a year when we start sitting back down with the whole catalog of scents that we work with. and we go through the creation process, which is pretty straightforward for us now. In the beginning, it was a nightmare on all sorts of levels. It was very just a long, arduous project of trying to figure out scents. Wildwood, for example, was one of our first scents. It's a woodsy scent, and I must have gone through 80 formulations for that scent to get it just right. Luckily, I'm a lot quicker with it now, so it's a streamlined process.
So what
Does
about
your wife
go
like
ahead.
get in on like the making process of the products and stuff too, and help out with that?
My wife is known around here at the Beard Baron as the head honcho. She's just such a great addition to the company. She's side by side with me all day. She's in the creative process, business end, content end. She keeps me in line with everything, up to speed. And that's what helps. Like I said, the past years, the burnout is died down because of her, because she's able to take some of those tasks that most people would have to deal with on a daily basis. So she's been great, but she's definitely involved.
So what about on the content creation side? Because Tyson and I are very polar opposites on how we create content. Tyson is very premeditated, very organized. I am very, as you said, fly by the seat of my pants.
Mm-hmm.
Sit down, turn the camera on, it's go time type of thing. So what does your creation process look like?
My creation process is I'll have a topic that I want to cover. I'll usually have the title of the video to start, and I'll have some key points just in my head, maybe 3 or 4 that I want to make sure I cover. And I'm more like you. I like to turn the camera on and have more of a fluid, just kind of shock me into it. I want to almost have that real, I want to say, not casual, but natural kind of interaction with the camera. I never want to come off scripted. I want to keep things a little loose, so I have that more of a connection with the user, the viewer, and so it's more of a fly by seat of my pants. Have a couple of topics in my back pocket, but yeah, that's about it.
So somebody asked, what made you choose your carrier oil blend?
That was a blend I put together, and I worked for probably a couple of months on that. That was just trial and error over and over and over again. I wanted to get the right amount of weight. I wanted a bit of sheen on it, but I didn't want it too greasy looking or too shiny. But to me, it was just a perfect blend. And once I found it and did it, I've stuck with it for the entire time.
Yeah, and a lot, you'll probably hear me say this a lot. Tyson and I being polar opposites, our porosity levels of our beard are so different that, I've recently, through his porosity series, found the way to take care of my beard and what products work for me the best. So that's always a cool thing to find out. Like when people reach that point where like, this is what works for me, this is what I'm going to do with it. It changes so many things for people's beards.
Right. And that's what's so great about beards. Everyone's beard is different than anyone else's, and it's very unique, from the texture to colors to everything. And I always tell guys, don't get too caught up on someone else's beard or trying to be exactly that. I was inspired by Ricky Hall from 2012, 2013 era. I love that guy's beard. I don't think he wears it anymore, but the whole comparison thing and just realizing, and I tell guys, just own and rock your own beard.
Matt the Sports Beard said he's going to place an order after this, and he wants your recommendation on a scent he should try first.
Ooh, I would try Foss, which is on the website right now. That's our latest private stock. It came out 2 years ago. It was inspired by my travels to Iceland. Foss means waterfall in Icelandic, and it's lime, pine, basil, and sandalwood. And it's just this really fresh, wintry scent. I've been wearing it. It's in my beard right now, actually. I've been wearing it for probably 2.5 weeks now. So Foss, fantastic.
I was looking at that one on the website. I was like, that looks awesome.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to go after this and get it too. Someone asked if I had Foss by Beard Baron. I have not ordered Foss yet, but I'm pretty sure I'm talked into it at this point. I do have Bellevue, and you can't go wrong. Also, if you're like me, like I like the outside Like, I don't mind smoke. I like a little bit of smoke in my stuff.
Mhm.
Fireside. You
Oh,
have to
classic.
fireside. You have to.
Yeah.
For me, that brings back a memory of, sitting outside, going camping when I was younger.
Yep.
It just has so many different levels and elements to it that can bring back a cool memory. So my advice, I say get Foss regardless, and get W and try Fireside. And there's a lot of other stuff on the website that might look interesting to you. Orient Express,
Yep.
is that one in the fall line or permanent?
That's permanent. It's been around. That was the first scent introduced after the launch of thebeardbaron.com.
Nice.
I'm actually interested in things like the body lotion, the shampoo. I mean, with long hair, I like to mess around with different shampoos and see what works good in that. And then I live in freezing cold, dry South Dakota, and we are getting snow right now, and the humidity is way down, so everything is like dry, and it's like you're starting to need lotion on the skin and stuff like that. And so that might be something interesting. And
our balm works really good on hands too, by the way. Makes a great, especially if your knuckles are really cracked, our balm is perfect for that.
I like balm in the winter, so I'm still on the balm train as well.
Nice.
And I like the thick, I like the heavier balms, the more waxy balms.
Right.
I definitely enjoy that.
Now, I've never tried your butter. I don't even know that I've tried your balms. I ordered some oils over a year ago, so it's been a while. But how's your butter? Is it a whipped butter, poured butter?
It's a poured butter. It's not whipped. If you were to tap on it, it would have a kind of a solid feel to it. But as soon as you run your thumbnail down it, it comes right off and just melts right real buttery into your fingers.
Nice.
And it feels great.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to end up getting in trouble with the bank account here.
You'll be all right.
It'll be all right. Let's see, what other questions do we have? We got about 10 more minutes, guys. So if you have questions, type them in the chat, and we'll get to them. A lot of people saying that scent sounds good. Pete's grabbing it right now. Don't forget to use the discount code. It ends today, so you got fall 2020 is a discount code for 15% off.
Yep.
And pick up a poured butter, shampoo, man. So are they the same scents across the whole line? Like you have a cologne that's in the same sense as the beard oils and everything else, kind of that same aspect?
Right. The only thing that's different is the shampoo, the lotion, and the hair oils are not across the scents. So that's the woman's line. But when we created those scents, I really went leaning for a unisex scent because I like the scent so much that I wanted to use them. So it's kind of a bonus. But for the Beard Baron scent, it's oil, balm, butter, wax, wash, and cologne.
And mustache wax. I love that. I know a lot of companies have recently moved over to the chapstick type style. I've tried a couple that were just in the round ones, and they didn't work as well. So that the shape you even have on your mustache wax is very utility for me. And it's a great wax.
And that's the thing is I found that it worked from the beginning, so I never changed it. I thought it would work great, so we'll keep it.
Absolutely.
All right, we have a compliment, a really easy question, and then a really hard question. So the compliment is digging the no lips look, one of the best, cleanest that they've ever seen with your mustache. And then, are you a Boston Scally cap guy at all?
Big time. When I don't wear these caps, I'm wearing Kangol 504 caps.
I haven't heard a Kangol called out in a long time.
Oh yeah, that's I wear those almost daily. As same as this. It's two types of hats. It's shout out to Sal Magundi in Boston. They just celebrated 13 years in the hatting business. One of the best hatters in the East Coast. He's a good friend of mine. This is actually his hat. He actually made this. So I wear these, and I wear the Boston Scally caps.
Does he have a website? Does he sell online?
Yes, he does. I think it's salmagundiboston.com if I'm correct. Salmagundi is a little tough to spell, but that's not the hard question.
Yeah. Now, the hard question is, What sets your company apart from other top-notch companies?
I think our heritage of going back as far as we've gone, we use premium products in all of our products. I don't skimp on anything. All of our stuff is sourced from really great places. A lot of people don't realize that when you make products, you can get different level oils that are, someone could say, oh, this has argan oil in it, but it could be a lesser quality argan oil than I'm getting my hands on. And so I don't skimp. I believe in bringing the absolute best possible product to the market, so guys will enjoy it. They'll share it. They'll create memories with it. They'll pass it down to their kids, kind of deal. I'm a real legacy based kind of guy. I really look long term for stuff like that. So I run the company in that kind of manner to make sure that we are on that kind of track.
Yeah, I don't think I know. I've seen some companies come out and you can tell the difference between a quality sourced product and something bought off Amazon. I think
Right.
that is a common misconception is people say, oh, argan oil is argan oil.
Right.
I disagree.
It's like someone saying
Yeah.
gasoline until they put 83 octane into a foreign car. You know what I mean? It's just,
I say that all the time in my reviews when I look at ingredients. It's like there's nothing that jumps out of you as this crazy ingredient, but this is one of the best feeling beard oils I've ever felt. So it has to be the source that they got the oils from is
Right.
it's a better quality oil. But with as long as your company's been around in the lineup you have around, you would have to consider yourself a veteran beard care company at this point. What advice would you have for some of these newer company owners that are kind of jumping up and getting started into the beard community?
I would encourage people to just have fun with it. The more fun, lighthearted you can take it and build products around that kind of philosophy and making people happy. I always tell people that's the business I'm in. It's just making people happy. That's my end goal. Whether someone has an issue with their product, I just want to make sure that they're taken care of, they've got what they want, and they're happy with it. So I think if you are setting out to do anything, and that's with anything in life, I believe, if you're looking to solve a problem or make someone happy in business, you're doing really good.
Makes a lot of sense. I mean, customer service, the customer service key. It's
Right.
I've worked for so long in retail and management, and the phrase, the customer's always right. Whether they are or they're not. As the business, you make them happy because that's somebody. An upset customer tells 10 people. A happy customer
Right.
might tell one person.
Right.
So you always want to make sure everybody's happy, and that I think when you think about that aspect of your business, and then you think about art, it's kind of the same way. You're painting and selling out of a passion, but to make somebody else happy, they're gonna buy that piece of art, and it's gonna be a centerpiece of their house or their room or something like that. And that's just
Right.
something super awesome to think about.
So
How do you eat with that mustache? Is another question.
Carefully.
Yeah, that's
Don't
the
let
only
that people
answer.
all
Is like
down.
I still haven't figured out. My mustache isn't even that big, and I still can't figure out how I eat with it.
I eat and drink every single thing with. I always have a napkin, or a paper towel on hand. Paper towels are my best friend. It only gets annoying every once in a while. It used to get really annoying in the beginning, but I got used to it. But there's certain foods that I know I'm going to be in for some trouble. Try to be as preventive of a mess as possible, but sometimes I just go after it.
So
I just go after it. This is I'm gonna get my mustache and beard dirty, and might as well be with something I'm enjoying doing.
Yeah.
So one of the titles of your videos, and I definitely wanted to save this for closer to the end, was the Golden Rule, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess not very long ago, really. So I encourage everybody to go watch the video first of all, but a brief summation of the Golden Rule in the beard world. What is it?
The golden rule in the beard world is if you're looking to trim your beard or make some sort of, decision on some sort of removing of a mustache or trimming down or cutting off your beard completely, I tell guys to count up how many months they've been growing their beard. So if there's 3 months, that equals what? How many weeks? 3 weeks?
12.
12 weeks, yeah. Wow, this is the hard question. 12 weeks. So I'd say at that point, I'd give myself 12 days before I actually made any kind of action towards my beard. I found that over time that on a given day, you might feel different about your beard, and you'd say, oh, I want to shave it off. I want to get rid of it. And it's funny how just passing a few days, how you'll change your thoughts or your thinking towards your beard. Because in the beginning, things get really kind of weird for people. A lot of irritation, things look strange. So there's a lot of beards that get lost in the first 3 to 4 months because it is such a drastic change. They usually get a lot of kickback from coworkers, family members, friends. People feel very open to comment on men's beards for some reason. So there's a lot of self-confidence issues during that time. So I tell guys, you've got to wait it out. Don't make a rash decision when you're standing in front of the mirror. And the good old saying, when in doubt, grow it out.
Yeah,
when in doubt, grow it out. Hey, I like that.
I made that mistake. I was like, I don't know, 2.5, 3 months ago. I was like, you know what? My mustache isn't looking quite how I want it. So I put way too low of a guard on and took it down. And immediately I was like, I cannot believe why?
Yeah,
So,
and that happens to a lot of guys. It's one of the more common things, and people usually figure it out after a while because it's a brutal feeling because there is nothing you can do once that happens.
yeah, just grow it out. That's all that can happen.
We got somebody saying, sweet, the Baron, the original beard teacher. I learned sideburn fading off the Baron like 6-7 years ago. So that's awesome. So
Wild.
Anything you want to add before we let you get back to your what sounds like a crazy hectic life and moving into a new house?
Yeah, I should probably get back to work, right? I mean, come on now.
Well, you're gonna have some orders coming in now, so.
Well, that's good. I mean, I'm pumped for these people. I'm pumped that I'm just happy to be on here. This has been a really cool experience of going live on YouTube. You guys got something great going on. I'm glad I can be a part of the series, and even with your following here, hopefully whoever puts in an order tonight, I hope they enjoy it, and for many years to come. And I hope the beard community just continues to grow and continue to bring really cool products to the market and just continue to grow this community. And I hope that workplaces continue to roll back any kind of regulations on facial hair, and we'll see what we can do. No petitions yet, but maybe.
They're going to start coming pretty soon, like, would you ever shave your beard for a good reason, like a charity or something like that?
Oh, yeah. I think I would enjoy shaving my beard because I haven't seen my face in a very long time. My wife has never seen my face without a beard, so it's a very strange kind of situation to be in. So I think there'd be a big curiosity factor for doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, that was it. So everybody, thanks for joining in. Thanks, John, for joining us. We appreciate you. It was so nice to get to know you a little bit more and have you on. So, David, closing comments?
I just want to thank everybody that was in the room. This is definitely a different style of series. And I think for all of the content creators, especially the bearded ones, soak it up while you can. Like John is a prime example of what can happen when you stick by it, do what you need to do, and continue to chase what you see as your vision. John, if you want, we'll hang out for a couple minutes behind when we shut down. But other than that, guys, thank you so much for stopping by.